This episode of the Lured Up podcast is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here on the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by the community. And you can join our community of supporters over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We offer a range of support tiers and a bunch of different benefits, and all patrons will gain access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. And we currently have a goal of hitting $500 in patron support, and you can help us out over at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. With tiers as low as $1 a month, you could support a collective of hardworking, part-time podcasters that have a passion for Pokemon in the community. We appreciate your consideration of checking us out on Patreon here at the Pokemon Professor Network. Let's get into it. What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 319 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024, and this episode is streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, and today I'm so excited to be joined by a very special guest who is covering for Adam tonight, Lane from Good Morning Johto. Welcome to the show. What's up, dude?
Good morning, Johto. It's wonderful to be the unofficial Adam stand-in.
Yes.
I know Digimon cards to prepare for this week.
Dude, it took 3 seconds for the show to start to talk about Digimon.
Prepare this week, I did have to play a little less of the game and pick up more Digimon cards, but I'm ready to fill in for Adam.
I knew it. That was probably the quickest Digimon reference ever from the start of a show. But
well, I have to get in the seat for Adam, right? Like I have to be able to get in the shoes that is Adam.
Yes. No, but Adam is in the process of moving. We talked about it on the last episode, and so all the stuff is packed up. So for the next episode, Adam will be back. He'll have his new fresh gear and set up at his new place. So we're really excited. Best of luck to Adam, and congratulations on moving to a new place. Congrats.
The Pokemon Professor Network, I feel like we've all moved this year.
It's been
the last year.
Dude, it's been a busy year for everybody.
We've had so many of us been moving around doing different things, and I was last year, you were this year, now Adam, that we're all going in, and then hopefully we never have to do it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we got plenty to talk about this week. I think we'll start with a quick rundown of what we're going to cover on today's show, and then Lane, I'll give you a moment so you can introduce yourself, talk about Good Morning Johto a bit. But this has been a huge week in Pokemon Go, and we're in a new season, and that's always an exciting time. A lot of new players, a lot of excitement around the new, in the TCG we always call them gimmicks, but sometimes like a gimmick has like a negative connotation to it. But
sure,
it's becoming a thing where, like Mega Evolution or, the Go Tours, there's some seasons that are tied to specific gimmicks in the game, and Dynamax, it seems like I'm doing it a disservice by calling it a gimmick, but like even in the main series, when Dynamax came, it was like, all right, this is the gimmick of this generation. But we've got a massive week in the game, so I'm really excited to break this stuff down and talk about it, and it's very, very fresh, and a lot of it isn't even here yet, so we'll talk about all that stuff, but we have plenty to catch up on. The road to Dynamax is here. By next week, we'll be battling Dynamax Pokemon, so super excited to get into all that, and GoHub put together a really nice guide, so we'll get into that. A new IRL event has been announced that's called the Pokemon Go Wild Area, and it's coming to Japan this year, so pretty cool to see them branding something new, especially with Safari Zone and City Safari happening in recent history here, right? So we've got all these different IRL events. Pretty cool that it's branching out with the branding. Ponyta and Galarian Ponyta have been announced as the September Community Day Pokemon. You're going to want to pay attention to this one because it's a triple dust day, so it's like that's just always a good time to play the game. The big news of the week, of course, is the Go Big update, which introduces Dynamax and the Max battles that are coming. That'll be in about a week or so, so we'll kind of give our preview into that, and like I said, Kitty over at GoHub put together a really awesome guide, so we'll talk about what we know so far, and there's some really good insight in there. Phalanx Raid Day is this weekend. These events have been very positive for me and very positive for the community and free-to-play players, or, very the people that don't necessarily buy Pokecoins but buy tickets, this is a really good value to dollar kind of exchange when it comes to tickets or these raid days. So we'll talk about that. It's definitely a high value gaming experience. A 3-part daily Pokemon coin or Pokecoin bounty ticket has been available, and we'll have a little conversation about this because you're paying into a system just to get paid items back. It's a little weird when you think of it in terms of just like a transaction.
This is cryptocurrency. We're investing in low. We're investing low in the beginning to get a bigger at the end. Like,
yes, I guess
it's one of those I'm okay with it. Pikachu crypto, I'm in.
And then finally, we'll talk. Have a little discussion about the Dynamax system, what we want to see come from it, what we think Niantic can do with it. We poked the bear a little bit last week about Dynamax battles and if this will be kind of like the IRL shock to the system that might get more people out. And now with, learning that you earn max particles from walking, will this make people make sure that they're at least getting out there and walking 2 kilometers a day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's maybe if you're not walking that much, will this motivate you? And then we'll talk about walking in Pokemon Go. And is this something that should just be a core mechanic of the game, or should Pokemon Go be like the ultimate toilet game where you don't have to get up and go?
Let's start back up the Discord. Let's start back up the Poke the Bear. Let's walk in between our GBL battles.
Dude.
Let's make it 30 kilometers in between the 5.
Honestly,
let's start saying crazy stuff.
It's wild because I did more GBL battles when I had to walk for it. Because it was, and I was doing all my sets every day. So definitely wild.
It'd be more wild to see now too, like since the people that like have picked up PvP since World started, and since that started, that we don't have to grind in between for walking anymore.
Yeah.
Like I remember like that time of like, all right, time for me to go walk 5 kilometers or whatever. Time for me to...
well, when it first came out, it was 5K. Remember, then they dropped it down to 3K in between sets. But it was like you couldn't stack them. So there could have been compromise there. And I don't know. I think they could have held on to it and just changed it a little bit. But like I said at the top of the show, we are streaming this live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're on any of those platforms live right now, thank you so much. We'd appreciate a follow or a subscription, any of that good stuff, or a share. Hit the little thumbs up. We'd appreciate it a lot. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, which comes out in a couple days from now, and you want to catch up with the video version, head over to YouTube and you can catch the VOD there. All right, but shouts to everyone who's here early in the chat. Michaela, Roax, Trainer Mystic here. Thank you so much for being active in the chat already. But let's get into a little bit of an introduction here, Lane. You've been on the show a couple times, and you're an all-around Pokemon Professor Network mainstay. So give us a little introduction to who you are and tell us about your show that's on the network. Good morning, Johto.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Lane. I have the show on the Pokemon Professor Network. Good morning, Johto. It's so great because I think the flow of all of our shows, even though we cover a lot of the same stuff, we all do it in our own different way. So if you can tell, hopefully, I'm very, very energetic, bring a lot. So I'm a very good. What did you say, Ken? It's caffeine to your ears.
Yes, exactly.
Is that what
That's exactly it.
Yep. I had years worth of morning show radio work and kind of combining that with my love of Pokemon. So let's say your daily commute, like let's say someone like Ken that maybe only have 15 minutes to go to work or something, you can get all the news for today or tomorrow already, right? That I do every Monday through Friday. So it's more of a very quick, very fast pace. You get all your stuff. I'm like a protein bar versus a piece of steak. Like you don't need all the chewing. Like I can get you everything real quick, get out of there. We still have our goofy stuff. We cover a lot of TCG because I think this is what Ken really latched on to years ago. My TCG is kind of my core knowledge, and Go is more of a passion, right? That I've learned more about Go and listening to all these different shows. But the TCG, that's where my knowledge flows.
I love that. I love that.
Every Monday through Friday.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. It's a fantastic show. Make sure you check it out on the network. and all that good stuff. Shout out to the Dead Superhero on Twitch subscribing with Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. That means you get a free sub every month. We'd love it if you gave it to us. Hey, thanks. But all right, let's talk September, and we're going to kind of run through the news pretty quick as far as what to expect this month, because I just want to get into the meat and potatoes of it. But when it comes to September, the Dynamax Pokemon are, of course, the feature. Zacian also coming back, which is definitely going to be a fan favorite for sure, with its shiny form available. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Skwovet, and Wooloo as the first round of Max Battle Pokemon. So obviously the starters were a given, but what do you think about Skwovet and Wooloo and no Pikachu?
For the
first
beginning
round
event itself?
Yeah.
Fantastic. When I do my favorite show, we just did it last week, was the review of the previous season, right? I do every event, every feature, everything that happened. And I said, I kind of found the formula to make a good event, right? For me, it needs one of three things. It needs a new shiny, a debut, or a costume of some sort. And if we get two of the three, and then a good bonus, that's where it really hits that, right? And I think with us getting the starters and these shinies together that are GBL perfect, you know what I mean? People love these. I think you're hitting all the marks of a good event.
Okay. No, I dig it. I think the holding back Pikachu thing is probably, some event kind of thing, right? They can keep that for, imagine if they did like a costume Dynamax
They'll
thing.
do an Eevee and a Pikachu Dynamax. They'll do something because that's big in the games, right? Eevee and Pikachu are one of the only ones that have like a stage or basic Dynamax. So I like talking about that. I think that's what they're kind of saving, because they're going to want us to make us want to do Kanto again with this, right? Like this is their
dude. So many times they've wanted us to do Kanto again. It's like, will this be fresh? Will this be fresh? Jimmy Banks saying he has a voice for radio. Yes, he does have a voice for radio.
And a face for it too.
He streams live from the Goldenrod Radio Tower every Monday through Friday. But no, it's I think Skwovet and Wooloo being the shinies are super interesting, and the fact that they are the Max Battle Pokemon makes it exciting to chase them. And I think with Max Pokemon, these Dynamax, we call them D-Max, right? We're friends. We call them these D-Max Pokemon showing up at these power spots. You want to hunt a shiny anyway. So it makes sense that when you go to a power spot, you can find these Pokemon, you can catch them, you can use them in Dynamax battle, you can leave them behind at the end, and we'll get to all those mechanics in a bit. But I do think this was a good choice.
I still don't know what's happening. But
well, it's early. It's early. Yeah. Oh, also we have Kyogre Groudon Zacian, coming back, and a lot of people were
new
like,
shiny debut of Zacian too.
But does that take away from the fact that these are not primals? Do you care that they're not primals? I don't care.
I think we're going to get another Zacian, because this is like everybody says this is the different form, right? It doesn't have the sword. It doesn't, like Zazmazenta doesn't have the shield. Like, I think this is with that Galar region, which I don't know if I love it so much because it got skipped over, or if I just like it so much, right? Like, do I feel like this is the injustice? We should have got this a year ago, or if I'm just really passionate about it. But yeah, I think, I don't know. Like, hopefully there's some way to earn the primal stuff, but I know like there's no field researches or anything. But
yeah, well, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll do. Imagine they did like primal energy with in field research. I think that'd be a great idea. I think that'd be great. In Mega Raids, we have Mega Absol available now through the 14th, then followed by Mega Houndoom, Mega Gardevoir. These are catch-up Pokemon, right? Like, nothing new here, but it's in your best interest to just do these when you can. They made Mega Raids so easy now. It's like you could duo pretty much all of them if you've got level 40 plus counters, and just stockpile the energy. Like, if some people don't like hoarding candy, they don't like hoarding Stardust. Like, hoard the Mega Energy. Put as many of these Pokemon into your Mega rotation as possible.
Yes.
Tag them as Mega, so that way every 7 days you're just constantly putting them through the Mega Evolution meat grinder and getting these Mega Evolution Pokemon out.
It's something I didn't think of until you said it. Like, maybe like that's what these for 5-star, because we're trying to do something raid adjacent, right? Like, let's say you only have 3 hours a week to raid. They're wanting you to do the new other raids, right?
Yep.
Like if you're wanting to do Dynamaxing and you may need other people, maybe that's why with these other ones, like if you only have X amount of time, like are we going to get Dynamax Hour? Is that something that's going to go alongside? Like
I didn't even think of that.
It's how close it is to it, right? That if I have raid hour next Wednesday, let's say a week from today, do I want to do the new ones? They'll be out by now. Like maybe that's what sometimes too. Like with always not wanting the primal energy.
That's interesting. That's a really good point. I think that the trajectory that this can put the game on, as Luis from Purified Podcast said it in the Discord the other day, he's like, they're setting it up as a forever game, right? They use that coin that phrase. They're like, dude, they can literally roll out 100% of the Pokemon with Dynamax forms, because all Pokemon are Dynamax eligible. They would just need to be released and rolled out in game. Where a Gigantamax, it's a limited amount. There's actually physical attributes that are different moves, things like that. This really sets you up for a lot of longevity of release, right? They could just introduce the Dynamax version and instantly they have something to center an event around. But with the Dynamax Hour or things like that, I didn't even think of that, because now you can have these spin-off brands to the Raid Hour and Raid Day and Field Research Day, or you can have these interesting spins where it's almost like or even like a Spotlight Hour where it's just
another
like
Raid Day. Like we just talked about
anything.
Raid Day coming up. Like
so cool.
Like you have
so cool. Yeah, no, I love it. I think it opens the door for a lot of new events. Speaking of events, we got plenty here on the calendar. Go All Out happening right now through the 10th, followed by Go Big. This is the actual release of the Dynamax Pokemon. Phalanx Raid Day on the 8th, Community Day on the 14th. That's Ponyta, Galarian Ponyta. We'll talk about that. The Psychic Spectacular is back on the 18th. Oranguru and Passimian Research Day, September 22nd. That sounds interesting. And then the 26th through the 1st, closing out the month, Legendary Heroes, kind of a throw to Zashi and Zamazenta, event at the end of the month. So pretty stacked. We had Wooloo Spotlight Hour. We have Dewpider next week, Wobbuffet, and Machop. Some good stuff here. Get some candies. The fact that, I guess we could talk about the season, because when you kind of talk about the seasonal bonuses, it amplifies things that may not be too exciting. Like, you say, oh man, Machop, I have an army of Machamp, I have this, I have that. But then you're like, oh, but wait, we have guaranteed XL candy from trades? Yeah, okay, I'll take all my Machamp to level 50 now. So I'll take those Spotlight Hour Machamps now and give myself an extra half an hour to be, out with friends till 6:30 so I could get a half an hour of trading in or something like that, or 7:30, right? Because you're going to want to knock out these trades. So let's talk about the season, and I think there's plenty to kind of unpack here, but we're going to go through it pretty quick. But Go Out, and I think this is a really fun play on just the push for IRL play. They did the whole Get Out and Go kind of promotional thing a year or two ago, something like that. Again, now they're kind of playing on the same verbiage, Go Out. Like, yes, this is a physical outdoor game. If you want to take advantage of what this game has to offer, it requires you to go out. So they're saying go out, encounter Pokemon first discovered in Galar, and a lot of people did think it was weird that we were starting to see like Paldean stuff, and it's like, wait, where's Galar? We totally jumped over it. So here you go, they're all coming. Pokemon originally discovered in the Galar region, featured in Pokemon Sword and Shield on the Nintendo Switch, have arrived in Go. Keep an eye out for them. We might find even more throughout the season. Yeah, no duh. Stonejourner, the UK exclusive. Pretty cool. Max Out Special Research, we do have this now. Choose your Galarian partner Pokemon. What's your choice here? What's Lane's starter?
Super easy to me. I made this decision like 4 years ago, so I just choose whatever I chose in the games the first time around. So I went with Grookey, as I did originally in the Sword and Shield games.
So this is definitely a tough one for me, because I'm always the fire starter, right? So I always choose my fire Pokemon, but when I saw Score Bunny and then I saw him be like the athlete in the soccer thing, I was like, dude, he's losing some points here, right? And then I saw the first episode of Pokemon Journeys when Go is first being introduced to Sobble and stuff, and I was just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like, how could I not choose the water Pokemon? But then
He
realizing
cries the whole time.
that Grookey becomes like a drummer with a drum set, I was like, how do I not choose Rillaboom, you know? So this was a really cool starter bunch for me, but I did choose the Score Bunny path after all, just because I had to stay true to the fire roots, but they're all so good. This is a good batch of starters for sure. So tag us. Let us know who's your starter for Galar. Dynamax debuts we know is coming. This is just going to be massive. Like you said, breathing additional life into Kanto. You know, it's all good. Here's the Go Wild event. We'll talk about this in a second. In Japan, November 16th, and it has an accompanying global event, which is pretty exciting because if you think of this like almost like a Go Fest, right, where you have an event IRL and then a global companion, but these are a single day global event, a 2-day IRL event. So interesting how they broke that up with a little bit of a difference between the two. The seasonal highlights, we already know about the Ponyta Community Day. We don't know about any of the others. Some really cool stickers, very fall themed. You'll see the Munchlax here. It's the Bidoof, the best ones, in my opinion. Plenty of changes to Go Battle League. The 50-second change timer, is huge. Plenty of good cups here. We're going to start getting into a little bit more PvP content as the season goes on. I think I'm actually going to play this season.
I think this next 2 weeks is the time to play because it's a little cup. I think your grinders don't like it, right? Like, and I get it, but I think it's a great starting off point for your new into it.
I never play the first couple days of the season. I let all those elite players get through the early ranks.
You got to.
and then I'll pick it up in like 3 days or something like that when, they're already rank 7, rank 8, rank 9. It's like, all right, now I'm ready to get this party
earlier
started.
This year I did 8 weeks of coaching with Fish on a Heater from PvP Corner, and I didn't feel great coach. I'm just too dumb for it. I really couldn't pick it up. Like, I tried. I was like, you did great. I felt like more people probably in chat. I said, but it was way harder than what I anticipated. Like, amazing. The switching and everything, I'm like, I had a newfound respect, but then a disappointment of, man, I suck. So, amazing. Like, that's what little cups, though. I can do little cups.
Nice. Research Breakthrough, of course, has our seasonal rotation, little UK style here. Galarian Weezing, Galarian Mr. Mime, Excadrill, Scraggy, Furfrou, and Jangmo-O. Nice little shiny lineup. The Galarian Mr. Mime and the Galarian Weezing will probably be a pretty good chase for a lot of people, and the Scraggy, I guess, too. But I like this batch. Sometimes there's usually like 1 or 2 duds kind of in the mix. This one seems pretty decent all the way around, so let us know who you like the best here. I'm going for the Galarian Weezing and Galarian Mr. Mime shinies for sure. Different Pokemon appearing in the wild. These are the biomes. These things, I don't necessarily know if they really work as well as we would want them to. Obviously, the hemispherical ones, work perfect. But I live at the beach, right? So we're looking here at Kingler, Staryu, Lapras, Remoraid, Ducklet, Crabrawler, Sandygast. From this list, and I'm 5 minutes from sand, from the edge of the continent, like literally at the Jersey Shore. I'm only seeing Remoraids. I'm not seeing Lapras, Staryu. I haven't seen a Kingler. Haven't seen any of them, but plenty of Remoraid. Like, let's see my nearby right now. And again, this gets very, very clouded by events, right? Really when you have those vanilla breaks is when you can kind of see this the most. But I have a Paris, only water type on my nearby right now. And like I said, I could be at the beach in a couple minutes. But we would love to see this being more prominent. I don't know. What is it? Probably like a 90 to 10% event Pokemon to naturally occurring seasonal Pokemon, right?
I think, though, for when you're saying for the biomes, like, I think we learned it, especially you, with Wiglet, right? Like, I would like to know what biome I'm in, right? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say we always talk about we're in the 1% of trainers that, like, if you're listening to this, if you're doing this, like, you're in it, right? But if I'm trying to find Wiglet and I'm like, oh, there's a beach over there, I know that's a sand or a water biome. That's a biome I can go to. Where let's say I'm by you I'm like, man, I really want to go catch some water Pokemon. Okay, I'm going to go to physically the ocean.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
like that, it's the mental of itself.
Well, the backgrounds really helped with that, right? Like the backgrounds made it easy to identify. But again, you have to get to the encounter screen. So, you know, a lot of people like to play this game, myself included, with the Go Plus, right? Where we're disconnected from the phone a bit. So I may not have my phone out to see, oh, what's my background look like right now? Am I looking at mountains or am I looking at trees to kind of like gauge what biome I might be in? But I don't know. I think, you know, we talked about Monster Hunter now doing that really well of kind of showing the different biomes on the map. Harry Potter Wizards Unite had a really cool way of like flagging off designated areas that would kind of tag different colors. I really liked that. That was cool. Yeah, I would like, I wish there was a way that would show like a little icon in the corner. If we're in the forest, show me the tree. Like on the website, they have little icons for each of the biomes. Yeah. Throw this in the top left corner of the map. Let me know what biome I'm in. So that way I can at least research or put in the Today View or something what Pokemon are available in that biome. Give me a dex. Give me a mountains dex of grayed out Pokemon that I could travel to a mountainous area and try to fill in by catching one of everyone. Like, you know, gamify this. Give me reason to travel. You know, that's one of the reasons I love Jersey, right? Like, I could be in New York City in an hour. I could be in the Pine Barrens of the woods in an hour. I could be at the beach in 5 minutes. I could be in the suburbs in 2 minutes. It's like everything is right here. Like, I'm perfect for this. Like, let's go. I think they should gamify this. I think that would be really fun. All right.
No, I agree completely.
Egg shakeup, of course. One important thing to note here, Larvesta still across the board in 2, 5, and 10s. So Larvesta still a very popular chase for most people. But we have the starters in the 5Ks. 5Ks are my bane. I can't stand 5K eggs. 7,
they're not as quick as 2, so you don't, but they're not as special as 10s. So
I still don't want to use a super incubator on them. 7Ks are another weird one for me. I always have the Go Plus on. I rarely have the opportunity or seize the opportunity to open gifts while I have open egg slots. Just never happens for me.
I didn't even think about it. I don't even. Same with like Rocket, like leaders or like Rocket, like with the 12s. Like if I don't think about it, it just totally eludes me.
Yep, Galarian Yamask in 7Ks though is pretty legit.
That's a good one. That's a really good one to get.
And Mateo, they're breaking out Mateo's Gift Exchange Pancham in there as well. So I do dig.
Do you do gift exchanges at all?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
I'll do routes, but the gift exchanges, like our community, our people we know, we're able to. If I'm wanting to get something from Scatterbug, whatever, right? It's more of like getting the cells and everything are the way I do it.
Yeah, no, I was all about the Vivian chase. I was really happy in New York to finally get my Sandstorm Vivian from a trade, so that was huge to finish out that dex. But I do routes every single day. I put routes in by my job. We have a nice path, the Henry Hudson Trail, and I could take a 1 hour lunch break every day, and I hit 3 routes there and back every day during the week while I'm working. So I'm constantly on the route grind. I really wish they would bring back the White Stripe Basculin for routes. I think that would be a nice, maybe motivate some people to do some routes. But no, big fan of routes. Here's where things get really fun for the season. The seasonal bonuses, increased XP for 7-day catch and spin streaks. Fleeting. XP from it's 1.5 times XP from friendship bonuses. So that's huge. So if you're someone like me who really puts a lot of time and energy into leveling up friendship, you know, on community day, I typically have 20 friends lined up and ready to go. That's going to be a massive, massive, massive payout, you know. So get 300K from a best friend. Woo-wee. That's fantastic. Really excited about that.
One of the best things that I feel like just went, not unsaid, but adding that little lucky egg so you don't even have to message someone anymore and coordinate. Just the little thing.
Still message them and coordinate so they don't have to use an egg just for you. But yes, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Oh, if you're on my friends list, you got to let me know if you want an egg. Because if you don't, I put it out there like, hey, you could be my friend, but if you don't let me know you want an egg, I'm opening that joint. I'm opening that joint without letting you know. Sorry, bro. It's like the double XP days. It's like, Snake, you've been holding out on me, bro.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely.
But trainers level 31 and up, guaranteed XL candy from trading a Pokemon. Huge Huge. Absolutely incredible bonus on the season. So really excited about that. So, all right. So 2 seconds we'll take on this. The Wild Area, this is the event that's coming to Japan with the Global Companion. Saturday, November 16th in Japan, the 16th and the 17th. Nice picture of Billy. Shout to Billy Trainer Club here. Stay tuned for details. What will this event be about? What will they have? What will it be like? Will it be a combination of a city safari and a safari zone and a Go Fest? Will they have IRL kind of aesthetics? Really interested to see what this is all about. When they say wild area, what I think is going to be cool is their focus on really being like maybe in nature, where it's more trail based and not open park or something like that. I don't know. It'll be
sure.
It'll be
Like from the games, the big new gimmick was the wild area, right? Like kind of in between everything,
yep.
So you could see all the stuff. Like that was like seeing the 3D out in the wild itself. So yeah, I think.
Well, maybe that's where the dens were, right?
Sure.
So it's like that. Maybe it's a raid focused or a max battle focused thing where it's just like they're everywhere. I don't know. 2 seconds we'll take on this. Galarian Ponyta and Cantonian. Is it Cantonian? Kanto Ponyta. Triple Dust. That's all you really need to know, right? Triple Dust. All the usual suspects. Double Catch Candy, 3-hour lures, 3-hour incense, snapshot surprise, additional special trade. The bonus raids will be there as well. And what's the I passed right by it. What's the move? Charge attack, wild charge. It will learn for Rapidash. So good shiny. One really good looking shiny. I like these double. The double versions.
The only thing I was when you were saying it is it's going to be hard to like use your mega bonuses, right? Like I don't think there's anything I was trying to look that covers both. Like a fire fairy or something that can do both. But I do the Slowpoke one, loved it.
Yeah.
Like I think that
even
was
the Diglett, or Sandshrew, like I think especially when you only have like single stage evolution Pokemon, it's nice because then you still feel like you're getting a robust lineup of new shiny action going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is pretty cool. We are in the Go All Out event right now, and this is the release of the Galar Pokemon. How's your Dreepy hunt been? Because this is clearly
I had
a rare
one on a nearby. Didn't even see it. Have you seen one yet?
I have caught one
Okay.
and one only, and I kind of dig that. I
know you and I like the challenge. I don't like the spoon fed. We like having the hunt.
And we talked about like, oh my god, it's so exciting to have silhouettes! Yay, silhouettes! And then like the silhouettes are gone in like an instant. You're like, oh, where are my silhouettes? It was so great having all these Pokemon as a silhouette, right? But it was really, I was quick to catch all three of the starters, right? I was quick to catch all them. I already had Wooloo and Squovet in the decks. So Dreepy was the one silhouette that kind of stuck around for a day or two. So that was really cool. I wish there was some kind of targeted way, similar to what Monster Hunter now has, where you can hunt a specific monster. Like, allow me to make my buddy Pokemon something that I can somehow track on the map. Or I walk a certain distance while in this track status, and I get an encounter. Like, I think that would be really cool, and again, push the motivation to walking. I wish there was a more proactive way to kind of specifically go after something, because if I knew that I could go out and walk Red Bank for 3 hours and maybe never encounter a Dreepy, or I could walk for 1 hour in a focused gameplay loop and definitely get an encounter, I would do that. So, I don't know. I would like to see that
as well. Is it in
the Dreepy? Hold up. Is it?
This is the guy that talks about it every single day, and I thought it was in the 10Ks.
I'm going back
to. It could also be super wrong.
It's in 10Ks. Dredagon, Larvesta, Charcadet, Frigibax. All right, so 10Ks are pretty legit. 10Ks are pretty legit here. All right, good deal. But we are in Go All Out. Are you a person that evolves as soon as you have the candy, or do you hold out?
No. I'll wait for the day. I'm not like Adam, like a Cosmog or whatever, that is just, it'll be shelved. I wait for the day, like the spotlight hour. I'll tag them. So we just had Evolution yesterday for Wooloo. I'll just tag them for the next time.
Lane, chat saying your mic just went down. Your volume just took a dive.
No, it bottomed out. Okay. I don't want to be too high.
Anyway, while he works on that,
Sure.
I think I am one to, especially if there's like an associated collection challenge like there was with Evolutions in the collection challenge, I immediately go for the Evolution. I can't have that anxiety. I need to just get it over and done.
You like to see the ticker go up, right? That's been your thing.
Numbers go up, but I just want to put it behind me. I just want to put the stuff behind me as quickly as possible because I don't want to have to think about it because I don't like to. I don't like to think about it. But I'll put a link to the Go All Out event that we're in now. It ends on the 10th, so 6 days from now. But really, what we're here for right now is the Dynamax Pokemon that are coming in the Go Big event, which is on the 10th. So this is what I think. We've been on for about a half an hour. Let's take a little break. When we come back, we'll figure out your audio. We'll get your audio set back up.
Yeah.
And then we'll you sound better in my ears now. And then
okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about the Go Big event. We'll talk about this guide that Kitty put together over on Go Hub, and kind of just wind things out with what we hope to see as the season progresses, both with the Pokecoin bounty and with Dynamax battles at large. Sound good to you, my man?
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Audio listeners, we'll be back right after this. All right, yeah, chat saying that your mic is back. Thank you, chat.
Perfect.
It's peaked now. It's too low again. Turn up the gain. Wait, is it good?
Yeah, I saw that one. I got the good. The audio guy can't have bad audio. That can't. If that's my one thing, but I saw that I was peaking. And I'm still peaking on some of my levels, but when I had it not peaking, I think that's when we just
let me turn you down a little bit.
Yeah, I may have to do it some in post.
Give it a little. How's that, chat? How's Lane now? I brought him down a little bit. All right, he said it's good here.
Perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, I am ready to jump back in when you is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you don't have a drink to hydrate?
No, I'm gonna dihydrate.
I hope you don't dihydrate.
I'm just gonna have to take the dihydrate.
No. Just do something real quick. All right, I'm ready to come back. Roax says 100% of people who drink water die. That's science.
Wow, I didn't think about those statistics.
Yes, it's true. 'Tis true. All right, you ready to get back into this?
Yes, I'm just pulling up the guide and everything now.
All right. And we're back from our break. Thank you so much for that. I definitely hydrated, so I won't dehydrated. Lane didn't have a drink, so hopefully he makes it to the end of the event without shriveling up like a raisin, because he is not hydrated at all. But
you want to see me shriveled like a raisin? See me in New York. That was me. Raising. That was me. Of the outdoors hurts.
Yes. No. Yeah. That we were. I definitely shed a significant amount of liquid during the New York weekend. It was hot stuff. It was hot stuff.
I was gonna say, how many bottles of water I went through at the park. I'm like, they must have told the vendors, like, you got to keep it under this, or our people will.
Yeah.
They don't drink water as well before anyway, so I went through a lot.
Yes. Lane was not sweating. He was glistening, says Roax in the chat. But I want to take a moment to recognize some of our patrons. I want to thank our gym leaders, Ben, DJ Wonderbread, GK, Hall to Counselor, Joseph, Kimberly, Maddie G, Mythical Hitch, and Noggin Dude. Special thanks to our executive producer, Xander. and the other executive producers on the network, Tish Smith and Kate the Cons. Thank you so very much. Just make sure you check out PokemonProfessor.com for everywhere you can connect with the show. Check out all the other shows on the network, including Lane's Good Morning Johto. And you could grab some merch, leave some reviews, all that good stuff, everything at PokemonProfessor.com. So check it out. Let's get back into the news. Real quick.
Well, one thing I will say, the one thing we do on Good Morning Johto every day, I do birthday shout-outs. Nothing's like local radio without birthday shout-outs. And Xander, who you said for help, like Patreon, has a birthday on the 6th. So this is after the 6th. Make sure you wish Xander a happy birthday. But friend of the show, does everything on my birthday club. Birthday on the 6th.
Nice. Happy birthday, Xander. Appreciate you very much, very much. We didn't talk about Phalanx. I'll just bring it up really quick just to run through it before we talk about the DMAX stuff. Phalanx in formation for Raid Day event. It's Sunday the 8th. And this is always exciting, and it's a really good event for free-to-play, and it's a really good event if people do want to step up and buy the ticket. And the beauty of this ticket is when you buy the ticket, you don't also have to buy coins to buy different consumables to support your experience while you're playing through the ticket. It comes with everything. So
the problem I have with this is the name. That every time I have the show, phalanx and phalanx to me, similar words, and every time I'm like, "This is a kid's game. This is a kid." I got it. And I'm like, I'm going to slip up one time, and the word is going to switch by accident.
Nice, very nice, very nice. But
it's going to happen.
You can 5 free raid passes for the free-to-play player. So right out of the gate, you have 2 in the bank. You get 5 free from the event. Boom. 7 raids for the day. It's awesome. I
fell in love with these.
I think it's so good.
The Hisuian trio we had last season, I think the amount of spawns they have for them, great. I think the amount of passes they're putting out are great. And they're 3 stars most of the time. And you know what I mean? You can fire them out pretty quickly, so you get to do as much as you want to do.
And people are like, well, it's shiny Phalanx, right? Like, why is Phalanx exciting here? It's because you have the opportunity to catch it. It's in raids. It's only a 3-hour window. Depending on your pacing, 7 raids could take you 3 hours. It's a perfect way to spend 3 hours as a free-to-play player. You don't necessarily have to invest in the game. The event gives you plenty to do. 7 raids for a lot of people, that might be the most raids they've ever done in a day.
Do you store up raid passes at all? I know Adam does.
So I don't purposefully kind of keep them in the bank, but I do buy bundles when it's a good value. So let's see what my inventory.
Yeah, so that's not even if you have your 5. I have 22, and if I really want to go fire these outright, like this is one that a good targeted shiny if you like this one.
I'm sitting on 30 passes right now.
Yeah.
So I have 30 passes in the hopper right now, and that's typical for me. I usually have about that many at all times. Like when I went into Go Fest, I think I had about 60. So let's get rid of this rare candy real quick and give that to
how many rare candies?
It was 25.
25?
I just always give him the Palkia, so I just might as well get him.
Yeah, really. Adam does hoard passes like a crazy cat lady. I think he's over 100. I think he's well over.
He was like at 160
yeah.
For Go Fest. So he's an absolute madman when it comes to that. But no, I think Phalanx is going to be awesome because if you do buy the $5 ticket, you get 8 additional passes. Extra Candy XL, Rare Candy XL, increased chances, 50% more XP, double dust from raids, and the bonuses actually last until 10 p.m. So you get, it's I don't know, a daily total of 14 raids, and you have 8 hours to use them. That's nice. That's nice. And Phalanx is not a legendary Pokemon. These are not going to be difficult raids, right? This isn't
3 people, you're firing them.
This isn't about the challenge, right? This is just a fantastic opportunity for the community to get together, and everybody wins. No one's going to have to struggle to defeat it. No one's going to have to struggle to catch it. It's just a fun, positive day. If you ever can make it out to an IRL event, do this one. Get a good experience and nominal investment, if even any. So very cool. Definitely very cool. All right. Big news of the week, though, of course, is Dynamax Pokemon. There's so much to unpack here. There's a lot of news, and it's so fresh. It really just hit kind of here with Go All Out, and we don't really know much. It was really fun to see like New Zealand and Australia posting like the power spots are live, and like everything kind of went crazy. Scipio in the chat, what up, Scipio? He goes, "What it is, hose." Amazing! It's on the screen right now, right here.
Oh my goodness.
It's so good. It's so good. But Go Big is really the hype of the week. So let's talk about it. Go Big with Dynamax Pokemon in Max Battles. This is happening from the 10th through the 15th. We talked about Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Squovit, and Wooloo, all shiny eligible, will be Dynamax debuting during the event. The special research, very interesting. Like, I understand they're trying to show off the bracelet, but yeah, great design choice. That key art for the max out. Interesting. Nice bracelet, bro. Double XP for winning a max battle, double XP for spinning a Pokestop, and field research task encounters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Squovit, Wooloo. There will be showcases. There'll be a max particle pack. Okay, so here we're starting to get into things people will get upset about on Twitter, and that's the fact that they're making this a consumable item, max particles. Max particles are required to do max battles. However, you can literally earn max particles by walking. This is the ultimate free-to-play thing where if you are buying this, you're doing it out of straight convenience and not because of necessity. If you want a remote raid,
walk?
Yeah, I want you to walk. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And we're going to talk about that as well because a lot of people get really, really bent out of shape. But check this out: $7.99 price tag for a max particle bundle in the web store. $7.99. $8 is a lot. $8 is a lot. 4,800 max particles for all your Dynamax needs. Is it a lot? Yeah. Will it last too long? Probably not. You'll probably end up using that pretty quick. $8. Interesting price point. But this is going to be so incredibly big for the game because it introduces a completely new mechanic. And I think one of the probably the most controversial point of this entire event is that existing Pokemon in your inventory that you've gotten from day one, you've caught all the way up until the 10th when Go Big starts, will not be eligible to Dynamax. Only Pokemon caught at Power Spots, starting with the Go Big event, will be eligible to be Dynamax Pokemon, leveling the playing field and putting everyone at the bottom floor for Dynamax Pokemon. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a good call from Niantic? And how do you think this makes the veteran player feel? And how do you think it makes the new player feel?
Think it's a great call. And here's why. Not popular opinion, I don't care. Because veterans, or some veterans, I know you and I could care not less about this, but it's one of those, they want this to go live, and then boom, I have 100 4-star ranked Charizards. I want to use them now, right? But for me, and I not speaking for you as well, that takes away from my gameplay, right? Like then why am I playing, right? Like if I can just boom, this new mechanic hits and I can just do it already done, then what am I going to do the rest of the 6 days, right? That if they're going to give it to me already, and then for the new players, it's good because it feels like we're both starting out fresh. Right, the new and the veterans together at the same time. Yes, the veteran players can use some of their things. So, you know what I mean? Walk more, like they may have their grinding path. But this is something we haven't talked about too. Where are power spots going to be? I don't know. Right?
Well, interesting thing you say that, because what we know so far is that they're based on small businesses. They are in addition to stops and gyms, so nothing has been taken away. It does not impact the existing stop or gym network, the Wayfarer system, the Lightship network. All that stuff that's existing in the game doesn't impact it. This is all additive. Wayspotters puts a tweet out saying like, "Hey, show us your weirdest power spot." So I'm walking home from work. And you know what? I might even be able to, because I work like a mile from
You
in
can
my
see it
house.
from here
So
almost.
I'm pulling up my phone. I'm gonna out in the
Yeah, why you bring
distance
that
there.
up? My thing is like we already have the route, you have the work, right? You have the way you want. But yeah, like I like that we're just starting at the same. Like it's like a cheat code. Like the last, if I could just get it already and have it done, I like the grind. That's
Yeah.
why I play this game.
Yep. B&E Mechanical. I have this pulled up on screen. Okay, so this is a business, right? But the weird thing is that when I walked by it, and I'm going to pull this up off screen really quick. When I walked by it, and I'll pull this up now. Yeah, it's just some dude's house.
No.
It's just a house. So
Get Jamal on the phone. Call, get Chris. Wake him up.
But here's the thing. Here's what makes this funny. So what I'm assuming is happening here is it's scrubbing like a small business database or something like that.
Sure.
These things rotate. These are not permanent stops. So B&E Mechanical that I just pulled up on screen will only be a power spot for another day, and then it's going to rotate to something else. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know. We'll have to see. But if that's the case, and it's just like picking up on like LLCs, there's a chance that my house could be a power spot with Pokemon Professor Network.
I'm guessing. I don't know. This is just a guess. I'm guessing they're POIs that are in like
Light
the other
ship?
games, right? They're in the light ship, just not one that if they're in the same stuff that didn't get made. Is that what they're doing?
So there's been massive conversations about this in our Discord in the Way Spotters group, talking about inclusion rules and talking about how these are being determined, and is this Foursquare map network and not OpenStreetMap, and is this all these different factors of where this data is coming from. And New Jersey in the house. Yo, what's up, man? You got it.
Roaxes says a key cutting kiosk at Walmart, an
That's
auto parts store, home listed as a business address for handyman. Oh no, it's gonna be random,
dude.
Oh.
These aren't. But here's the thing: these aren't gyms where you're clicking on it and you see the storefront. Like, you don't really have an image, but you do have a name. But if you're doing max battles there, you will group up.
Your house is going to be like with paparazzi outside of people doing like the power spot stuff.
So look, I'm sure we're going to have plenty of rollouts of updates of.
Oh, this is like new coal for Jamal and them,
dude. I'm like literally standing outside the dude's house, and I'm like peeking around the back to see if there's like a work van that says like B&E Mechanical on it. Like, is this dude like a handyman or something like that? And he's just like, he's got like a old Ford Econoline van, with a ladder on the back and a bubble window, and it's like that's what it's getting picked up. I don't know, but shout out to Kitty over at GoHub, because she put together a fantastic guide with everything that you need to know that we know so far about Dynamax and Max Battles. And we're not going to run through it all because there's so much information, but it does talk about how to collect up to 800 Max Particles a day. There is a little bit of a way to tweak that system, because you can collect 300 by walking 2 kilometers, and if you collect your 300 as your last thing, you can kind of get over 1,000 a day. So there's ways to work it a little bit. So definitely read through this article. But PokeGo Hunter put together a nice little infographic that kind of describes what power spots are, how Dynamax battles work, how the Max Particle system works. And again, this is all very fresh. The Go Big event has not even started yet. Jay Holtz, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It says, I got the Shiny Wooloo Dynamax tonight. Yo, hell yeah. Shiny with the Dynamax tag is legit. That's a good flex. That's a cool flex. Very, very cool that you have an additional like layer of chase here, which is pretty cool. Kitty talks about power spots, and here they are. They're these weird like pink, purple, kind of funnily looking things on the map. And it says they are prominently seen to be at small businesses at present. Once the Dynamax feature truly goes live, you'll be able to complete max battles at power stops. In the future, Gigantamax Pokemon may also appear at power spots. So if you go, I can pull it up on screen. If you go to the, let's say you're looking at a power spot, And I'm going to pull one up on the screen real quick. And where is it? Here we go. And you click the little question mark in the bottom left-hand corner to bring up kind of like the tutorial. It says power spots, find powerful max Pokemon at power spots. And if you scroll through these different things here, collect max particles, max battle, and you get to the last one, it says something interesting. It says you may encounter a Pokemon after visiting a power spot. Dynamax Pokemon might even appear if there are Gigantamax Pokemon placed at the power spot. So right now, if you go there and you might encounter a Dynamax Pokemon at the power spot. But what they're saying is if you have Gigantamax Pokemon placed at those power spots, Dynamax Pokemon, like maybe already Dynamaxed.
Can you explain to the audience the difference?
So every Pokemon can Dynamax. Every Pokemon can Dynamax. It's not a change of physical appearance. It's just simply picture a regular raid battle, just a big old version of that Pokemon. And then they have different moves, max strike. And again, Kitty's article kind of talks about the different moves once we get there. Again, we're still a week out. A Gigantamax Pokemon actually has completely separate physical attributes. So it's not just going to look like a larger version of that Pokemon. It's actually going to have a different form. And there's a limited number of Pokemon that are Gigantamax Pokemon. And I'd imagine if this gimmick continues, they'll be able to add Pokemon to that over time, again, extending the length of the franchise and, the mechanic at large. Right now, we only have Dynamax, and I'm sure that what they're trying to do is they want to obviously roll out Dynamax to make sure it works. And then once they do that, they'll do Gigantamax, and again, not only from a functionality standpoint, but like Luis from Purified said, this is the perfect fodder to be the forever game, right? You just added another multiple years of content of rolling these Pokemon out. You have 1,000 Pokemon. Now you get to roll them all out as Dynamax Pokemon in addition to their shinies. Like the shiny pool is drying up. You know what I mean? There's like these shinies are out there. So it's like, this is just another way to kind of keep that mechanic going. Let's see. Power spots are volatile locations that emit max particles. So when you click on the power spot, the particles kind of float around. You just kind of collect them with your finger. It says, they show some screenshots here. Here's our little Dynamax icon that shows that Pokemon is an actual max Pokemon, D-Max Pokemon. Talks about walking 2 kilometers, the 800 soft cap. And again, these numbers may change of like once balancing happens of how many max particles you could actually earn per day. And then there's going to be like tier 1, maybe tier 2, tier 3 max particle battles or battles that'll cost additional max particles. Like, if you're battling a Dynamax Weedle, it might be the minimum amount of max particles needed versus doing a legendary or something like that. I don't know. Maybe then it'll cost more. I don't know. But max battles look pretty sweet. It definitely is reminiscent of Sword and Shield. So they really kind of nailed the look with that purpley glow and in this giant stadium as that, they take place with the clouds above their heads and everything. Definitely looks really, really cool. Kitty details the rules, talks about how all that stuff works. You only use max particles if you defeat the boss. So it could be a complete free-to-play mechanic. You don't have to buy the max particles. You can go out, explore, interact with a couple power spots, get your max particles, do some raids. If you lose the raid, you don't get charged the max particles. So it's very, very free-to-play, favorable, but again, in-person only. Huge. You have a max meter. When it reaches the max meter in the battle, just like a charge move, you can then Dynamax that Pokemon, so it's really cool. It Dynamaxes for 3 turns. While you're still tapping kind of, frantically, it is kind of like a turn-based style mechanic. It's going to be very interesting to see. There's been some leaked videos. Don't watch them. It's bad. Once you defeat a power spot boss, you can place a Pokemon that was in your battle party at that power spot to help other trainers earn candy and a damage bonus. When it returns, you receive a reward based on how helpful it was. So let's say you're at a Go Fest and you're able to drop a Pokemon in there where people are going to be doing Dynamax battles nonstop at that location. You could rack up some serious rewards. Who knows how it's capped, but again, another way to earn stuff in the game, which is really cool. And we've seen that these power spots have timers on them. So it's not like you're dropping off a Pokemon to the gym in the middle of nowhere and it's going to be stuck there for a million years. These things will definitely come back to you when the timer runs out. They detail Dynamax Pokemon. They talk about all the different screens, how you can unlock Max Spirit, Max Guard, Max Strike, the Dynamax moves. It'll ultimately cost Max Particles, Candy, Candy XL to kind of power these things up. There's different tiers. So again, more things to invest your time and energy and consumable items in game in. The amount of depth that just this mechanic has added has really opened up a new layer, like peeled back another layer of the onion of what this game can be. And I really hope in my heart of hearts, shout out to Kitty for putting together this incredible article. I really hope in my heart of hearts that this works out well, because I do think that this can be something that can get people outside. I think could be something that can really help motivate and encourage and empower the new trainers and give them a little bit of a stronger leg to stand on, where they don't have to feel as intimidated with the old dogs, because, we've got these level 50 Pokemon and we're level 50 trainers. It's like, it doesn't matter. When we enter a max battle, we're all the same. I love that. I think it's great for the new trainer. So looking at the guide, this is probably going to be something that the only way we figure out how this really works is to get behind the wheel. I think that's kind of how it's going to roll out. What are your hot takes on the process, the Dynamax system at large, and do you think, like we did with Poke the Bear the other day, do you think this will be a shot in the arm, the electric shock, the defibrillator for IRL gameplay? Is this enough? Is it different enough from a raid day or raiding to make people want to, I don't know, get outside?
So multiple takes there from reading through this, going over it. I think I do think for the Poke the Bear itself, I do think it's a shot in the arm. I think when routes when they were rolled out, right, their new thing, that's the way to get the gimmick that was for Zygarde, right? And then it's kind of, they tried a couple months later to revitalize it again, but this is already on my path, right? Like, we don't have to make routes or do different things and remember it. This is already going to be on my walking path, and things that are not taken already from the game board but adding to the game board itself. Huge. So I think that's very good. The only issue and hot take that I think I had with it is something for newer players. It's something that I always hear about, and that is whenever someone starts new, and Ken, I remember you talked about it with your girlfriend and me with my wife when she started, is the starting bag size. Is what's your max storage right now? You in the 7Ks?
Yeah, I'm at 100%. I'm fully maxed out.
100% maxed out. Starting for a new player is still 300, right? You and I could do that in an hour or two, right? We can on a great day we could do that. The thing with these is we're to believe that we cannot have. Let's say I catch a 4-star Charmander. That can't be my Dynamax and my Mega Evolution. Right. So if Niantic's wanting me to keep Dynamax, one that's Mega Evolution, a small, an extra large, a shiny, there's just so much involved in there. But I think that comes back to like the Pokecoin and how we upgrade our bags and everything and different things like that. That's my only thing that I can think about, is it's going to make our storage more, right? And I know you keep usually close to, you can max out pretty easy, right?
I max out almost every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah,
it's I try
annoying.
to have like 1,500 of space, but if we're getting a whole new, like you said, another 1,000 of new unique things, how much am I keeping?
Well,
right?
Well, I think that there's this annoying cycle, because I could be at, like, okay, let's say my Pokemon storage was 6,300, right? And I'm hitting the limit all the time. I'm like, this is horrible. It's so annoying. I'm constantly hitting the limit. And then they give you, here's another 1,000, drop another $20-$40 on storage.
Yes.
And then I do it. And then in a day, I'm in the same exact boat. I'm like, I'm at 7,300. I'm maxed out. This is horrible. It's like I was just in the same boat yesterday. It'll never end. I don't think there's never going to be enough storage. all it does is make the transfer process more annoying because you have to transfer more Pokemon. So it's like now I do the age 0-5 or whatever, and look at the Pokemon from the last 5, click one, select all, scroll through them, and I do a mass delete. I just, if it's not, starred or a shadow or something like that, shiny or a legendary, I'm highlighting all that stuff and purging.
But what do you do? Can the amount of shinies that we have at this point are quadruple or even more than what a starting trainer would get?
Yeah.
So with shinies, I always like to give them to new people, right? I always tell them, with Roax, all these people are when we trade me a Pidgey. I really don't care.
I do the same. I do the same.
Whatever you want.
Yep.
And because I don't want to waste these shinies, I don't want to send them to home. I know someone wants them, right? Like, dude, there's some good ones.
For the longest time, I was hoarding shinies simply because they were shinies. And I'm like, what am I doing? I have 65 Squirtles. Like, why? Why do I need 65? Why do I need 65 Sunglass Squirtles? Do I really need 65 Sunglass Squirtles? Like,
that one you can keep. That one where that's good. It's 65 Sunglass Squirtles, 65 shinies, and now 65 Dynamaxes. Right,
well, dude, I keep a living Shadow and Purified decks. That's why I'm steady full. I'm constantly full.
I'm the one that keeps the extra small and the extra large. I love showcases. I think they're one of the greatest things that was added to the game in the last year,
for sure.
And it's just adding things that if I'm already maxing out my storage on the daily, and this is just another thing, because if we're looking at these new Dynamax raids like 1-stars, then we can fire these out, right? According to how many there are, I haven't got to see how many there are in my local area. So let's say if I can do 10, well, if I do 10 a day, that's going to add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it's going to make me more judgy on my storage.
Yeah, no, I need to do like a deep cleaning. It's like I typically will just go back in age and pull my stuff out from there. You know what I mean? Like I do
it to airports and doctors' offices.
Yeah, I need to like go sort by number and like look at every single one and be like, dude,
I got dentist up. Yeah. I go by number. I sit when a doctor's office. I know I'm going to be there a while, and I sort through number and I do the whole like, why did I keep this? Do I need this? Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. Now that I do like the mass transfers, it's a little bit easier. But I used to like scroll, click, tap, tap, like selecting them all, scroll, tap, 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 scroll. Like it's just the housekeeping was such a horrible process. Box maintenance is the absolute worst in this game. All right, one more thing to kind of talk about before we wrap up, and that's the daily Pokecoin bounty. This will be a 3-part monthly ticket that you buy into for $5. It's not crazy. You get 200 coins back, and you get 20 extra coins each day. So you have this kind of investment mentality where you're buying into something. Triple XP for first catch and first spin. That doesn't really do it for me. Open 50 gifts a day and collect up to 150 gifts per day. Huge. Absolutely huge. Paired with the seasonal bonus of 1.5 times friendship XP. Whoo. This is serious. If there's ever a time to like purge people off your friends list, like, look, I'm all for having friends in this game, but if there's people that are not on that gift grind, this is the time to get rid of them and find some gifters, because you're going to be able to level them up quickly, because you're going to be able to constantly interact with so many more Pokemon trainers per day. And just 50, opening 50 is, I wish that was the way it was every day. Like, I don't say that a lot of things. I know, and it felt so good. Or it was 40 or something. It was so good. So good.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. And hold up to 40 gifts, also good, especially if, like, you live on a stop or you work on a stop or something like that. It's really nice. Pokecoin Bounty Part 1 Timed Research. There you go. An extra 200 coins from the Timed Research, 15,000 XP, 15,000 Stardust. If you buy this in the web store, you get an extra 100 Pokecoins for the same. It's like the 3-month kind of thing. It includes all 3 Pokecoin Bounty tickets for $15, $14.99, and you get the extra 100 coins. So that's where I recommend buying it. But we got the max out season and the release of Dynamax coming. We've got some serious core mechanic changes to PvP. We have new Pokemon being released, new mechanics being released, a new aesthetic on the map being released. This is a pretty significant change from what we've seen over the last couple seasons. I don't necessarily know if this is going to drive any more narrative in the game, but it's definitely going to drive gameplay.
What's narrative, Ken?
What? Do they do that in this game still? Look, Professor Willow. Yo, shout to Espeon Willow, friend of the show, Espeon Willow. Professor Willow is back, baby. It's so great. It's like, we had for a long time. You get the special research and just the little research thing you would pop up, and it's like, yo, where's Professor Willow at? He was on a sabbatical or something. Professor Willow is back. That's always a good thing. We love Daddy Willow, so it's good to see him back. But I don't know.
I think this season will be huge. I think this is a really good one because, too, we got next month. That's one of I call the honorary Go holidays. Halloween in October is one of the big ones. And it really can set up for the, I forget, the Gigantamax Dynamax Gengar with one of the special things. And that could just be the new way to introduce another fan favorite, right?
Yeah,
that's one of the ones. And I know Mimikyu, everybody begs for Mimikyu every year. Maybe this year, but it really this is the time. I think I say that for every season because we have a thing to go in, but I think this is the one that we like. The loading screen, 10 out of 10.
Oh, dude, the loading screen is so good, so good. I do think that there's enough on the plate where a lot of people from that engage in different mechanics of the game, whether it's PvP or shiny hunting or grinding or now max battles. There's so much to do. It brings the people together outside. I'll stand by it. I love the fact that it levels the playing field. I love the fact that it's IRL only. I love the fact that remote raids are not even in the zeitgeist right now. They're not.
I don't even think you need it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like
if
we're not
I
even talking
need to
about
remote
it anymore.
in. Remoting in was good if I'm the only player. This is Jamal's nightmare. Like, I'm the only player in my area. I have one gym. I'm by myself. I don't have people. But if I don't need a remote in, if I don't need help, like if this is something I can do solo, then remoting doesn't need to be in this talk with it.
Well, but that's what I mean, because how do you just exclude remote raids from the conversation? Is you don't even make it a thing. Like this is IRL only. It's like get outside or get out of town, buddy.
Absolutely.
R.R. Kramer in the chat said, "Did you know that postcard background changes based on the path you take with your Galar starter?" What?
Hopefully, I didn't get rid of mine.
That's legit. Nice. That's awesome. But Lane, dude, thank you so much for filling in for Adam. Adam, we miss you. We hope you're enjoying your move. Next week Adam will be back, but Lane, thank you so much for filling in for Adam. You're always wonderful.
Anytime. I love coming to hang out with the guys.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you to everyone that's here in the chat. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out PokemonProfessor.com for everywhere you can connect with Lured Up and with all the different shows, including Good Morning Johto. You can email us, luredup@PokemonProfessor.com, and you can leave us a text or a voicemail or a video or anything, 732-835-8639. But, dude, if that's a show, I believe that's a show. That's a show, right?
That's a show.
All right. Keep training, trainers. Thank you so much.